Ladies and gentlemen, so excited today to talk to Iowa's finest. Some consider her the biggest heartthrob of Bachelor in Paradise 2023. It's Mercedes Northup. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very good and very excited to chat with you today.
I know. It's nice to finally meet you.
I know. I mean, like I said before we rolled, this is a very big break for you to get into the car here.
I know. I'm excited.
I moved here a few weeks ago and you're moving out. Did you find out I was living here and then you had to go?
Yeah, I found out you were coming. I was like, I gotta go.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, you actually offered, this was really sweet, and I would never take you up on it, but you offered babysitting.
I did. Yeah, I love kids so much, and I was like, oh my gosh, if I wasn't moving, I would literally hang out with your baby and you guys could go on date nights. It would have been perfect.
So how long you been here for in Nashville?
I've been here for 5 years.
You gonna miss it?
Yeah, I'll definitely come back. Like, this is like where I feel like I'll have a family and settle down.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Because how far is your family from here in Iowa?
8 hours.
Okay,
it's an 8-hour drive.
That's a long drive.
Yeah, it's not horrible though. You know, like, it's something that, like, if you need to do it, you can do it. So, like, if I need to go home for anything, I could do it.
Oh, I'm already talking about driving back to my family in Rhode Island, which is like 15 hours. But
15? Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, you have to do some things on the way, but I'm like, we'll swing through New York, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Because my wife's family is like 4 hours from here, which is like...
Oh, that's so nice.
Close enough.
Yeah.
4 hours
like, 4 is great.
So I like to be very well researched, because most Bachelor interviewers aren't. They're terrible, by the way. You've probably been a part of some of these real garbage, but not over here, not in the mobile setup.
Not you, okay.
So I Google, what is Iowa known for? And Google was like, we don't know. Google told me,
where's Iowa?
I'm going to tell you what Google told me. Corn, the Iowa State Fair, which, by the way, your thing shouldn't be the state fair, but it is. And then it also told me sliced bread.
Oh,
Are you familiar with
bread?
Oh, you don't know that one?
No.
So they just started throwing shit in there.
Sliced bread? What do you mean? Like, isn't that a thing everywhere?
I guess so. Maybe it was invented in Iowa.
Maybe.
But also, Ashton Kutcher.
Yes.
Whom I think he was found, I think they found him at the state fair.
Oh, really?
I feel like if you have to go somewhere to meet in Iowa, it's the state fair.
That's so true.
Is that was that a big deal growing up?
Oh yeah, I've missed one Iowa State Fair and it was because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah, I've been every single year of my life.
What's the draw? Because I'm from Rhode Island. We don't have a state fair.
Yeah.
We have a thing called the Big E, which is all of New England gets together in Springfield, Massachusetts, in the middle of nowhere, which nobody, people go to there, your band goes there in high school, but it's not like, we don't have that quintessential thing I read about, or you see like in film where it's like the state fair, I met the love of, some like Notebook style shit.
Yeah. So the state fair, my family camps there, which camping, there's probably I don't know the exact number, but I want to say there's probably 5,000 campers there.
So it's the Iowa State Fair is like your Coachella, it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. Literally, it's Iowa's Coachella.
So your family would camp there?
Yeah. Yeah, we take our camper up there every single year.
You have a camper?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my dad wakes up at 1 a.m., drives up to Des Moines, which is 2 hours from my hometown, and that's where the state fair is, and he gets in a line with so many other people so you can get in the fairgrounds and get a spot to camp.
What a dad move.
I know, right?
I love
Bless
this.
him. Yeah.
I'm imagining sort of the shin high white socks with the white New Balance.
You know what's so funny? So my dad has he's always this is the summer fashion trend or whatever, and last year it was the high white socks.
I mean, the guy...
He always does embarrassing shit too, and he thinks it's so funny.
Was he the type of dad who would embarrass you in front of boys?
Kinda. Not really, but he's just goofy. So whether he's wearing something goofy or just acting goofy, I don't know.
Are your parents still together?
Yeah, so when I say my dad, he actually adopted me when I was 11 or 12.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's when my stepdad came into my picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because you're at that age, to an outsider, you might think somebody's you're already developed emotionally of who you're going to be, and then you meet some cool guy because any stepdad did he adopt you because he was a stepdad, or did he okay.
Yeah.
Because any stepdad, they're the real heroes.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
They not only love somebody, but they also end up loving their kids.
I know. And they were young too. My mom had me when she was 15.
Wow.
So and he's 2 years older than her. So I think he turns 40.
Oh, so you have cool
this year?
parents.
Oh yeah.
Your parents are like a little older than me.
Yeah, no, they're seriously so young. It was so fun growing up.
I want to go camping with your dad.
Oh my god, that's why it's so fun, because we just like literally have a time. It's so much fun.
So what was that like, going from living with your mom? Do you have siblings? Was it tough to adapt to having like a male figure there?
For sure, because it was me and my mom for so long, and I feel like my like father figure was my grandpa for like a long time. And then when Ryan, my dad, he came in the photo, I didn't really like him, to be honest. I'm like, who is this taking time away from me? Like, it's me and my mom against the world. Obviously, I grew to love him.
It's a dynamic shift.
For sure. And especially with my mom being so young, like, yes, she's my mother, but we were also like best friends too. Like, she grew up raising me, you know, like we grew up together.
I know, that's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
So did you have a close relationship with your grandparents then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm always envious of that. My wife had that, and you know, my wife, she grew up with like going to her grandmother's after school every day.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool for people that do have a relationship with her. I'm in a forever search for like the grandparent fit. Whenever I meet old people, I'm like, please be mine. They're like, sorry, kid. They're like scared by me. I'm like, just love me.
That's funny. Yeah. So I grew up like close to my grandparents, and then obviously like my great grandparents too. So, like, my grandparents are my Mima and Peepaw, and then my grandma and grandpa are my great-grandparents.
So your grandparents were relatively young.
Yeah.
Because your mom was young.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a whole... So you're I'm not going to ask your age, you're mid-20s here. You're over the hill as far as this...
Yes.
You know, you need to... You know, you're 10 years past your prime here.
I know, right?
Are you... Did it change? Because living in Nashville, let's be honest, no one's living in the city of Nashville and... I mean, are people seriously dating here? This just seems like a fuck town.
No, it literally is. I gave up on dating here. Like, people are like, so are you like trying to date, trying to find people? I'm like, absolutely not.
It wasn't working out, so you went to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
The boys there are really going to surprise you.
Right.
When that doesn't work out, go to New York City.
I'm going to New York actually in like a week, so you never know. Maybe
my wife and I met in New York, and you can meet the right person there. It's just a tough dynamic in any city where people are pursuing their dreams.
Yeah.
But I think you might as well try to find somebody who's pursuing their dreams versus somebody who's like, I don't know. Not that there's one versus the other, but there's a lot of people that are rudderless or they don't love their job, but it pays the bills. It's like, go find the people that are really trying to like achieve something big.
Yeah.
Even though that means you might not be first priority, but like you try to do the same, and then you'll find somebody. Yeah, you'll find somebody who's kind of got that vibe.
Yeah, I definitely want someone like that. That's what we're looking for. But
so
I'll
Nashville,
tell you one thing,
it's
not here.
Not here. Not in Nashville. Maybe not in Bachelor in Paradise. It sounds.
No.
I mean, look, you got to go on the show. If you're invited, you got to give it a shot.
Yeah, and I was like, people were like, were you actually looking for love? And I'm like, who am I to say that, like, I won't fall in love, you know? So it was like, I was definitely open to it, but obviously
that's what I loved. The year before, you had like Becca Kufrin, who I think she would call herself cranky. She was kind of like, been there, done that. I'm just going for some quesadillas and, whatever. And then sure enough, she meets a guy. And they end up, now they have a kid,
Baby, yeah.
It's wild. So yeah, I think the show, even though I don't think the formula is great, but I think it just goes to show if you put enough people in the room together, you might find some.
Right, yes. And I would say like Paradise is definitely, I feel like they work out more from Paradise because you're like actually with them 24/7, getting to know them. Whereas on The Bachelor, it's like, you're meeting the Bachelor, you're getting to know him, but it's very like your time is limited, Yeah,
there's way less opportunity for mixing. And also, I think there's a competitive element too that the Bachelor will take away. Because, well, first of all, on the Bachelor, sure, you're all competing for him, but he's not competing to earn your trust over some other guy.
Right.
So it takes away that power that I think women normally have, which is, if you don't want this, I got all those other guys checking me out at the bar.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true.
Now, let's be honest. Your Instagram... Yeah, you these how many? Let me frame it this way. How many men in Bachelor Nation? I'm talking blue check mark alumni slid into your DMs after Bachelor in Paradise. Be honest.
Really only a few. I feel like, probably only a few.
Really?
I wish there was more.
Really? They're about there.
Tomorrow. Like, okay, time.
Yeah, I mean, no, because on the show, it was almost as if all the guys, I don't know if you picked up on this vibe, but they were all talking about you like they all did their homework.
Yeah.
Like you were kind of one of the few that everyone was like, oh shit, here's like let's could you feel that? Could you feel the competitiveness on the sand?
Yeah, kinda, but not really. Like I didn't know that until I was watching it back, and I was like, oh, like they were interested in me, because like sometimes people be like, oh yeah, I think Mercedes is great, like she's la la la, and I'm like, I didn't even get that vibe from you. Like,
that's what's so funny is men
work a little harder.
We're so busy trying to play it cool. I had the hardest time losing my virginity because I was so concerned with looking cool. Yep. And the guys that aren't worried about looking cool are the guys that are actually getting laid. Because they're actually, but I was just like, whoo, and everyone's like, what's wrong with this guy?
But I feel like that's how Bachelor Nation is. Like everyone, not that, like no one's scared to like slide in or do whatever, but I feel like it's very, especially before Paradise, like you're like, because
I have to answer this because my, hold on, sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
We're going to have to cut this out. Hello?
Sure, bye.
I've never answered a phone, but my water heater broke, and I thought that was the water heater guy.
Oh, shit.
So I'm waiting, $2,000 out the window because moved here. I've been here for 9 days, and we don't have hot water now.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I thought I fixed it, and I filmed myself fixing it.
Your poor pregnant wife too.
I know. I was like, I need to get this bitch in the bath. Okay.
Yeah. Bitch in the bath.
We don't need to care. So anyway, no, you got to take care of her, right? So anyway, sorry. I told them to call her because they were late today, but either way.
No, you're good. You're so good.
So. What cool? Yeah. So yeah, playing it cool is a detriment. Like you can't. You can be cool, but also show people that you're interested.
Yeah.
And I feel like Paradise does have this dilemma, which is don't look stupid, don't get rejected. Mm-hmm. How do you even know who's into who when everyone's kind of flirty with everybody?
Yeah.
So how did you pick up on Tyler being into you, or do you have to wait for like a friend to be like, he likes you?
No, I picked up on Tyler, because he chose me for the date.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so he likes me, which was like a good little ego boost. I was excited because that was like literally the only guy I was interested in at Paradise.
Really? No one else? Were you waiting? Like, so are you in your hotel room? Like before you even go down, mm-hmm. Are you in your hotel room just waiting, just like pleading with yourself that you're not going to be the last one down?
Yeah.
Because someone has to be the last one down,
yeah.
And that's like showing up to the buffet at like the end of the night. There's like
there's nothing
crusty
left.
mac and cheese, and you're like, gee whiz, great. There's like a cold lobster tail.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was like, I hope to God I'm not last, but. Yeah, you literally don't know until you get down there. I mean, you can kind of tell by like the timing and stuff when you go, but they never told us like when they started filming or anything like that. I knew I went through like in the middle of the day, so I figured I'd kind of be in the middle, and I was.
Yeah.
So.
But you got pretty good airtime. I mean, you never know what's going to play out. Did you know before you watched it back that it was going to be like a favorable experience?
I kind of got the vibe because it was like the same with Bachelor. Like I kind of keep to myself when it comes to like the drama or anything like that. And then as far as like my relationship, I was kind of the one that got screwed over. So I was like, I assumed that it was going to be a pretty good edit. So I was happy with it.
Did you see it coming, or were you
the breakup?
Yeah.
No, I definitely saw it coming.
I mean, these Jersey guys.
I know, man. What are we gonna do with them?
I love a good Jersey girl, but boy, do they can really fuck with you.
Yeah.
To not appreciate Iowa. I mean, he could have been going into the camper, Iowa State Park.
I mean, he could have had it made.
Had he no idea what he had, a sliced bread and corn.
Pigs. We're also known for pigs.
Pigs.
And I grew up on a pig farm.
You grew up on a pig farm?
We have show pigs.
What does that smell like?
Like shit.
What's a show pig?
So, okay.
Like for the state fair?
Yeah. I showed pigs at the state fair.
So do you pick out do you like know this one's going to be a show pig?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I mean, it's like a whole thing. Like they're like.
Have you killed a pig?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, that would make me cry. I like
Someone's
get attached.
Someone's got to kill him.
I know.
Someone's got to kill him.
I get so attached to them though, but after like you show them, you sell them, and people like businesses buy them, and obviously it's probably most likely for meat. And it was so sad walking them up on the trailer and they have to like get in.
Oh, they're such smart animals.
No, they're so smart. They literally know it's coming.
I've seen pigs being walked in LA.
Well, I showed up to The Bachelor with a pig, and it was a pig from LA.
There you go.
Literally lives in this woman's
probably
apartment.
the same pig that I was, other than the hoofed kind of feet, they're like in hairless. The hairless thing kind of throws people off. But they've got sort of the same sort of jubilee that dogs have.
Yeah.
They've kind of, all right, but anyway, and I didn't know Iowa was such a big pig community.
I think we have like the most pigs like per state.
That wasn't in the Google search.
What the hell? Google needs to get it together. Sliced bread, but not pigs.
I know.
That makes no sense.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to put that in the Iowa Wikipedia there. Okay. So is your story on Bachelor complete?
I think I would be open to going on again to Paradise, but I don't know for sure.
Did you watch the show before you were a part of it?
No, not really. I was in a sorority, so when I lived in the house, it was like, oh my gosh, Wayne, Bachelor.
Which sorority?
So, Delta Zeta.
DZ. Mm-hmm. Oh, they called you Easy DZ.
Easy DZ, baby.
I was Lambda Chi Alpha. Did we have that at your school?
I don't think so, no.
You know what's funny? When you meet someone from a fraternity or sorority, you only know the assumption from that school.
Literally. And they're all so different.
My Lambda Chi was Kenny Chesney. I mean, we had former presidents in Lambda Chi.
No way.
But in other schools, you're a loser.
Yes. Well, that's how DZ is too. Like at DZ, it's like at Iowa State, DZ is like one of the top sororities. But then at other schools, it's like shit.
Is this DZ? Is that?
No.
Or no, that's okay.
That's DG.
Oh, that's Delta Gamma.
Yeah.
So what do you?
This.
The hell's that?
It's like a little triangle and then a little Z.
There it is.
Yeah. DZ
baby.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State. How big was that Greek life? Like how big was your pledge class?
My pledge class was probably like 110.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Greek life is huge.
That's insanity. I was one of 6.
What, 6? Oh my gosh.
At most, we had years where we had 20, like that semester.
Yeah. What school did you go to?
University of Rhode Island.
Okay.
Which obviously, pretty small state school. I think our total Greek system was 1,100 students.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Well, big enough that 1,100 out of 12,000, so almost about 10% of the system was in Greek life. But I think Greek life gets a bad rap. Obviously, there's been, hazing and other instances, but same thing with sports and, anything college related is going to have a small segment that's abused. Mm-hmm. But what was your experience like in the sorority?
I loved it. People are like, you paid for your friends. I'm like, yeah, and they're some of my best friends.
I always say, what you're doing is you're basically socializing partying.
Yeah,
because
literally.
You're paying, I was a social chair, you're paying whatever the price is. What was it, like $250 a semester? I don't know.
Ours was so expensive.
A lot more?
Yeah.
You're paying a lot, but then every party you go to is like pre-funded. You got your, there's what else would your dues come with? Just rush events, philanthropy events.
And then like chapter, doing all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, all those events were so fun, and Greek life was so big that everyone was involved in everyone's sorority. So, like, DZ would go to Tri-Delts events, and, it was just fun. And I guess, it just made you more social, because I feel like if I wasn't in that, I mean, I would have been fine. I still would have made friends, but it wouldn't have been as easy.
Yeah, I understand the thing, you buy your friends. I get that, that's what it might look like to the outside. But, there's a price that, my house had its own private chef. That's just what, I don't, did you live in the house? Did you have your own?
Yeah, Chef Don.
There you go, Chef Dwayne. What up, Chef Don? Whatever there's going on. Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it. You're pooled together resources.
Chef Don, tried to be so bougie, though, with his food. And we're like, can you just make... he would make his grilled cheese with apples in it. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
And we're like, Chef Don, get it together, dude. We're just...
Come on, this is Iowa.
We live in Iowa. We don't need gourmet shit.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's probably got, big ambitions to be a Michelin star.
And then he'd, go out.
We're wasted. We want chicken fingers.
Literally. And he loved us, but he also hated us because we were just, always loud and crazy. And then we have so many pictures of him just, in the driveway with a cigarette. Just,
oh, my gosh.
Staring at us.
We had our chef
so funny.
Knew everything, who came and went from the house because, he could see from the kitchen.
Yeah.
So if anyone needed to know any information, you would have to go through the chef. And
That's
then
hilarious.
you'd be walking a lady out the next morning and he would just be like, good day, sir.
Duh.
How are you? Was there a lot of, what was the culture like? Because you're a solid, probably decade younger than me. Maybe not that quite. I don't know, I'm 38. But what was the culture like as far as, the drinking and partying culture there?
Oh my gosh.
Because I look at these bigger schools as they must have been so much fun.
Yeah, it was literally my life. Like, I was just...
Like slapping bags of wine? Or like, what do we...
Like, every night. Yeah, wine, shots. We would go out with just, like, a plastic water bottle filled with vodka. And it'd be the cheapest vodka we could get. I'm like, I don't know how I drank that or how I'm still alive.
So Bachelor in Paradise for you was kind of like going to the library. You're like, this is boring.
Literally.
Wait, where's Chef Don?
I'd always be like, can we, like, take shots or something? Like, can we spice this up?
And now, how do you feel... Because by all means, I love that. But, like, I went to... When I was touring houses here with my wife a couple months ago, she was at the time 3-4 months pregnant, just starting to show, and we went to the Barstool bar or whatever because our buddy was playing there, and I mean we were like 37 going on 75 years old. We felt so old.
Barstool's intense. When did you go?
We were there in like September when we looked at homes.
Yeah.
And
busy then.
It was nuts.
You know, I worked there.
You do work there?
Yeah, on the weekends.
No way.
Yeah, I modeled during the week.
Oh my gosh, you probably were there when we were there.
I probably could have been. Yeah, I worked there Friday nights, Saturday, and then Sundays.
What's the culture? What's the culture of dealing with the people that you used to be, like, or still are?
It's honestly so fun. I feel like the bachelor and bachelorette parties are really fun because they're like ready to have a good time. Like no one's in a bad mood. And at Barstool, like we can like take a shot with the table.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so like it's just a fun environment.
You're hooking up with the bouncers?
And no. No.
Have you graduated from the walk of shame era of life? Because that might be the most nostalgic of eras.
Yes. Honestly, I don't think I ever have done a walk of shame.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No strides of pride?
No.
That to me was when I lived in New York City. You'd grabbing a bagel on the way out.
Yeah.
You get in the morning newspaper. You're whistling at tourists. The walk of shame in New York City was. We actually a few episodes ago I did with Cassidy Timbrooks, and we saw walk of shames walking by us, and I was like,
oh my gosh,
I need to know what neighborhoods to be driving through so that we can do driving with Dave's just around walk of shames, which by the way is a little bit of a maybe derogatory term. There's nothing shameful about it. It's just
not at all.
Stride of pride, but it's
fun.
But it's an experience. You're meeting people. You're trying to figure out what's going to work. And I think that this generation of people in the dating pool don't necessarily want to do the fancy old stuffy dating. It's like, you want to be out at the bars and in lively situations because you can meet so many more people.
Yeah.
And sort of weed through them, which to me is why I think online dating is stupid. I think if you go to a bar or any place where there's socializing, like, eye contact is so much more important to me than like a match online.
For sure.
We can all glam up our Instagrams.
Right.
But I can make myself look way cooler online, and then in person I'm just gonna be like some buffling buffoon. You know what I mean? Like, have you had any of those experiences? Have you dabbled in the online dating?
Yeah, I actually, like, my last boyfriend, I dated him for 2 years and we met on Hinge.
Whoa, so you had to approach him first.
Yeah.
What was it about his profile? Let's just make a move here. But have you been in one of these Teslas before?
Yeah. Once or twice. Honestly, only for Ubers, though.
Oh, so have you gunned it before? All right, I'm going to gun it. This isn't one of the performance... Oh, we're going uphill. It's not going to be...
Gun it? What do you mean, like fast?
I'll gun it downhill.
Okay.
Once we pass this one, we'll go for it if we can get a green here.
Okay. Why? It goes really fast or something?
Not as fast as the performance, but it's still pretty good. It's still a fun one. Like the zero. You're not gonna peel your head off the back of the thing, because then you're gonna think that it's lame. But so that's... Oh! Okay, so they didn't... Oh, come on, I had the green light!
What a
By
loser!
the way, I got someone... See, like, that's pretty good right there, right?
Wait, yeah.
Like, that's 0 to 60 pretty fast.
That was 0 to 60?
Yeah, I just went to 60.
Wait, yeah, that was fun. That kind of made my stomach get, like, butterflies.
Right? You can go, and then if we're, like, slightly downhill like this, like this car... Yeah, that makes you feel like weird right there.
Yeah.
This car goes...
Wait, that's cool.
No matter what speed it's going, it still accelerates fast. Like, some cars are like quick on the first 20.
Yeah.
This thing just flies.
Keeps
and it's
going.
It's a big car, but...
Yeah.
But anyway, some guy followed me into a Costco the other day because he thought I cut him off. and I had to film him just in case he was going to, like, do something crazy. And then I had to repark because I didn't want him to vandalize my car. Oh, look at that. What's that? These homes are really cool.
Oh, I love this
What is
area.
that? That's like some Hogwarts shit.
Right?
I have to turn my camera around. Oh, it's not going to catch it.
It's so cute.
Your camera will catch it, maybe.
You want me to do it?
That's close enough. Anyway, sorry, my ADD's kicking in. So anyway, all right, we got flicked off. That was nice.
Yeah, what
we
the
have
fuck?
That Bonnie. I thought
Honestly,
that was a fair green light maneuver we had going on.
It definitely was. It was his fault.
All right, so you meet this guy. What was it?
Back?
Yeah, you're fine. No, you're fine right there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good right there. So what was it about his profile that made you want to? Because the Hinge, you have to approach him, right?
I think so. Or is that Bumble?
Oh, you're right.
I think that's
I'm sorry.
Bumble.
I'm sorry. You're right. That's Bumble. So in that case, that ruins my question. So 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's pretty successful.
Yeah. I feel it was also a COVID relationship though, which I feel like those are different.
You settled.
Yeah.
The 1 year you miss Iowa State Fair.
Shit went downhill.
Was it a tough breakup? Did he pull a Tyler on you?
It was definitely tough. Yeah. It was just hard because like when you like love someone and you're with someone so much. I mean, I like basically lived with him all the time, and then you just lose them. You know, it's tough.
Why'd you lose him?
We just were very different. Like I said, it was a COVID relationship, so I feel like everything was shut down, so we were together all the time. You learn to love them, whatever. But at the end of the day, we were just two very, very, very different people.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work out until it does. And
you want to know something crazy?
I sure do.
Sorry, I just
Please.
completely cut you off.
Go for it.
So, I went to this writers round. Do you know what a writers round is?
No.
In Nashville. So basically, it's like artists, because there's so many people trying to be in music. They go on a stage and they sing their own songs. Okay.
Like a Bluebird Cafe type of
Yeah,
thing.
like they're literally all around town. So this one was at Live Oak on Demumbrian. And my friend was playing, and my ex was playing 2 hours after her. And I was like, oh, like, probably won't see him, whatever. Well, everyone and their mom was out, so
Was he your ex at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And everyone and their mom was out, so I'm like, I got distracted, lost some time, whatever, and I see that he's on the stage. And I'm like, oh, well, this is weird. Like, whatever, like, we're fine, but, like,
did he write a
weird.
song about you?
He literally goes, I wrote this song about my ex, and I was literally standing right there, and I was like, this is literally not happening.
And he didn't know you were there?
No, he did. He saw me.
Oh, at that point he said, okay.
No, he saw me, yeah. And he goes, wrote this song about my ex, kind of thought it was funny, and I'm like, oh, great. And it's like a song, whatever, and he goes, I miss my ex. Brother-in-law, talking about how great the brother is and how it's like F the ex.
I like that.
I know, it's so good, but I'm like, of course this shit would happen to me.
Isn't that what's tough in a breakup is like it's like, all right, well, fuck them, but their mom was cool. You just have to like break up with the whole family.
No, his sister-in-law always reaches out to me still.
I used to get so pissed when my family didn't unfollow my ex on Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, what? How dare you not be loyal to me? They're like, well, we wanted to see what she was up to. I was like, you can't. I wish you could. I wish that was part of the breakup is I get to choose that everyone unfollow. Like, we're done with her. Yeah. You all have to be. I don't, because then info will bleed in. Did you see what so-and-so was up to? No, I didn't. Yeah. I was gone. I mean, in any other pre-internet world, you just move on with your life.
If I could date in the 90s, I would.
I'll tell you what. So last episode I had a buddy on who was in a fraternity as well at school with me, and we graduated in 2007. And Facebook was you had like one photo.
Yeah.
And you didn't text back and forth like conversations. It was like, see you at the party at 8.
Yeah.
That was it.
See, that's
Done.
so fun.
No cell phones. No phones on no cameras on the cell phones.
Yeah.
You just did, and again, it doesn't mean like you were doing some crazy shit. You were just in the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you put that genie back in the bottle, other than maybe nightclubs start doing the yonder bag thing where they take your phone. Like maybe people decide to go into that world.
Yeah.
But I've seen people at like literally the coolest places in the world, and they're on their phone wishing they were somewhere else.
I know. It's so sad, honestly.
And we're all guilty of it because it's kind of like I cell phone doesn't go in my bedroom anymore.
Oh, really?
That's the thing I tell everyone, and I tell my wife, and she doesn't do it. Like, she doesn't do it, but it helps the relationship. Like, we do device-free time. And I actually heard someone on Caitlin Bristow's podcast say she was a marriage counselor, and she was like, I don't even counsel my patients until we fix their phone issue, because obviously, you're an influencer, you do work on your phone, but then all of a sudden you're not doing work on your phone, and your partner doesn't always know when you're busy versus, like, we don't have the resources to overcome how addictive these things are.
Yeah.
And we're just supposed to pretend like it's normal, and it's not.
I know. I actually hate it so much. But what do you do?
That's the question.
What do you do? I love the no phone in bed though.
It doesn't go in the bedroom. It doesn't go in there. No, I might sneak it in, but not like at bedtime. Like I'm not going to be in my bed going through my phone.
Yeah.
I now have an Apple Watch, which will still alert me if something important happens, but none of that ruminating and scrolling, because that's where that's the danger. It's not someone reading a book on their Kindle or whatever. The danger is the non-stop shit. And it's just like sucking the dopamine out of your soul.
Like and me last night on TikTok, like for an hour and a half.
There you go.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally 1:30 in the morning.
And
like,
do you negotiate with yourself like 10 more?
Yes.
And then you're like on the final one and it's like part 1 of 13. You're like, well, all right.
I gotta watch
Clear my schedule. We're trying to find out who was wrongly convicted of this crime.
No, literally. I know. There's a part of me that like, so at my church, they're doing like a fast in February, and it can be like food or like whatever, but a lot of people are doing social media.
Whoa.
And I thought about doing it.
No, but that's the thing is like you don't want to have to suffer so you can only create and consume. You can't do both at the same time, at least.
Yeah.
So while you're on TikTok, you're kind of like paying someone else's bills for like the dreams they're making, right? And while you're consuming or while you're creating, then you're providing that. And it is tough to know what the difference is, because like my wife will negotiate, she'll like sort of negotiate with herself like, well, I'm getting ideas for future videos. I'm like, all right, sure. Okay. If that's what makes you feel better, sure. But it's like, how do you set those limits on what, and it's tough. And where was I? Oh, when I was driving across the country moving here, I was in a I drove a giant Penske moving truck, like a giant one where like the seat bounced, and it was diesel. I'm telling you, my drive, the initial like 5 miles of that drive through LA was some of the highest. That was like my Joshua Tree on mushrooms moment. I've never been more in the zone, because everything was so, I was so alert to the situation. Yeah. I got so much writing done on leaving LA, like just voice notes. Yeah. And I know this kind of sounds ironic. Well, I was using my phone. Yeah, but I was sending voice notes. So like the creativity that happens like when you're in the shower and an idea sparks, that was happening to me driving, because I was so needing to like, everything was important, versus like now I can just like be in my car and just like, autopilot and just be chilling. Yeah. And anyway, so that was like my yoga moment where I reached this zen. Yeah. And I'm like, how do we find that more often? Like, how do we find that moment where like we're almost like, that's like that blissful, because the phone sucks you out of that. The phone takes you into, this person did this, you're a piece of shit because this person's better. Yeah. And it's impossible, regardless of the algorithms, to avoid that. Yeah. I think anybody who says otherwise is in complete denial. I agree. Because I feel like with your wife, like I'll be like, I need to get on and find like what sounds are trending, whatever. But when I do that, I'm still getting sucked into the videos that wouldn't even fit on my page. Yeah. They give me no inspiration or anything. And I feel like when I do have like those moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I should do this, they always go over well, and it's because it's genuinely what you thought, and people are following you because they like you. They like what you're doing. You need a camper review TikTok where you just go to the Iowa State Fair and interview people in their campers. I really should. I'll be there. You and your dad just hanging out. So, what do you got? A 32-footer? A nice aluminum body? Do you want to know one of my favorite activities at the fair? Please. Okay, so the fair is huge. It's the same thing every year, but there's like this whole area of brand new campers. So it's like the brand new ones just made, and they're insane. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're hydraulics and staircases and double deckers. And that's like my favorite thing to do is go look at all the new ones. I'm gonna send you. There's this couple. They're like a retired old couple. Like I said before, I'm just searching for my grandparents, and they review their camper. I watched this guy like a 25-minute video talking about like the closet space in his camper. Yeah. And I fucking love these people. But yeah, it's and so Atomic Habits is a great book, and it'll tell you like if you're addicted, like very simply, if you're addicted to watching TV, take the batteries out of the remote control. So that way, when you need to watch TV, you can put the batteries back in and you make it a little bit harder. Yeah. So taking the cell phone out of the bedroom, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to send this email. I gotta get out of bed and go send it. Yeah. And it's like, if someone's addicted to like, all right, well, I want to get inspiration, but like, all right, just know your limits and then stick to it by either only using your phone while you're standing up, but like if you have a designated place for things, you then don't suck the business into the personal.
Yeah.
Because it's a relationship ruiner.
It really is.
And you know, my wife, like we've had to really negotiate and call it device-free time, just because I'm like, are you working? Because if you're working, great. But if you're not, and sometimes like, yeah, I started working and now we're just watching, you know, some
random
archaeological
videos.
undigging video of like a, you know, mammoth bone in Alaska. Or whatever it is. And yeah, it's like dating's hard enough that getting on the same page with that sort of communication is very challenging.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, has social media, have you had boyfriends like jealous of your social media? Because, you know, you post you're beautiful and people are going to be DMing you. Like, if a man does have jealousy issues, they probably would be unearthed in that sort of situation.
Yeah, I was kind of in a situationship, and there was definitely a little bit of that, like, where it's like, well, why are you posting that? Like, you're only posting that for dudes. And it's like, no, not really. Like, I'm just posting it because I look good and that's what I post, you know? And so I definitely have ran in with that a little, but...
By the way, and I mean no shame whatsoever, I'm all on board. My wife kind of grew up a little bit on the conservative, like, dress side, just from, like, her upbringing, and she's a model. And I'm like, you can go out there, shake it, like, do it for you. Don't worry about what your mom thinks about it.
Yeah.
You know, she kind of grew up in the time where even wearing, like, showing a little belly was not cool. And I'm like, how do you go from that to being a model, where you kind of just have to be like, all right, today we're doing lingerie, we're modeling lingerie.
Yeah.
You know, when a company calls, you do, you know, so she went from like that to bikinis, and it's like, sorry, that's part of it. And there are different ways to look at it. You could look at it as like, oh, you're just doing this for other men. And it's like, well, they can be a side product to me just sharing my beauty.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you have a problem with your, like, how did you, like, and I ask a lot of people this, when was the first time you felt hot? And also, was it easy to move on to the Instagram where you are posting photos that would be paradise friendly?
The first time I felt hot, like, ever?
Yeah.
Like, where I was like, dang,
like
I look good?
Yeah, the stage. Set the stage. Was that the Iowa State Fair 2020? Like,
yeah, showing my pigs. I was like, damn, I look good.
Got the booty show, the jeans on.
Honestly, probably not until college. I feel like in high school I was pretty conservative. But then...
And why was that? Just
the town. I mean, I grew up in a really, really small town. People would probably watch this from my small town and be like, bitch, you were not conservative. But I felt like I was.
You felt like you were.
Yeah. But I feel like college, and that's when I really started, like, experimenting with, like, more makeup and, like, just really getting to know, like, who I was and, like, what I like to look like. So I feel like that's when I was,
college is good because that's when you start, like, swapping notes, because you're essentially at an extended summer camp.
Yeah.
So you start to be like, oh, that's what you do with the eyebrow, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You start combing the things in a different direction.
Well, and I, like... That was my first time because I had, like, friends from Chicago, from Minneapolis that grew up completely different than me.
Oh,
so
the hip Minneapolis friends.
Yeah, yes. And so, like, I felt like I just got so much, like, knowledge of, you know, people, places, all these things, and I just really grew as a person. So I feel like that's when I...
Was it your upbringing because of your town or church? Like, what was it that just... You know, was it like you could, because I know my wife would say like, oh yeah, the church wouldn't allow us to wear bikinis or you know, you have to wear a t-shirt in the pool. Like, t-shirts are sexier. Like, that's...
Yeah. Probably just my town. I mean, I went to, like, a church group and, like, a summer camp, whatever, where we had to wear, like, one-piece swimsuits. But my parents obviously were young and, like, didn't... Like, I wore two-piece swimsuits. It wasn't, like, I couldn't, whatever. But I would say definitely my town, just because it's so small. Everyone knows everyone. My family's, like, pretty well known in the town, too, so I felt like I was always, like, needed to make sure that I was acting right.
Yeah, going to a bigger city or college, that's your chance to reset, because when you're, like, a senior in high school, you have to kind of play whatever archetype you are as a junior and a sophomore. And in college, you know, you can have a little booze, you can, like, paint a little outside the lines, be a little different. So what did you, like, what did you learn about yourself in college that freed you from your high school version of you?
Honestly, just, like, what people think doesn't matter, you know? Like, you have your circle, they love you for who you are, and, like, no one else really matters, whether they like you or not. That's
a real great way to look at life, because, yeah, I think you really do, growing up, you do think people care what you think. You think it matters, like, you know, you don't want to look stupid dancing or whatever, and then the anonymity of being in college or moving to a city can really just be like, all right, I'm gonna, like, I've spent my whole adult life trying to dance like nobody's watching. To
Yeah.
use like a dumb saying, like I spent my whole adult life trying to be closer to like clown mode.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I said
like
before.
Not caring.
Like I said before.
Living for you, no one else.
Yeah. Whereas before I was just like trying to play it cool, and what did that get you? You know?
Not laid.
Not laid. Bring it all back as we approach back to your place. So, what are you looking forward to in Los Angeles? Like, what's the big what's the big plan for 2024?
I think just like new people. I love the people that I've met in Nashville, but I'm also excited to broaden my horizons. And, there's girls from the show out there too that I'll most likely live with. And yeah, just.
Oh, you don't have a roommate yet? Or
no, because I was supposed to move in like a few weeks, but I can't get a job, so I'm waiting.
Oh,
yeah.
Well. Hopefully,
figuring it out.
Hopefully you figure it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for being my first Bachelor interview since I moved here.
Yes, of course.
Very
I had
exciting.
so much fun.
And maybe if you don't leave town, we'll have you babysit.
Yeah.
So you still at Barstool?
Yeah.
Do you get recognized?
Yep,
Do like people say hi to you a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. I'm going there soon because I think Blake Horseman's playing there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He's DJing?
He's going to be in town soon.
Oh, wait, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to, when that night is, maybe I'll get it off and we can all hang.
Have you considered doing a podcast or like what are you doing influencer-wise?
Yeah, I actually want to do like make a new TikTok page. And it's gonna be like Dinners on Me is what it'd be called, and I'd like interview like homeless people and then take them to dinner, but then like just like hear their story.
I love that. How
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, that's my idea right now.
You're too kind for Bachelor Nation. You're a good soul.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone go follow her if you haven't already. Did I leave any meat on the bone, or did we get it all?
I think we got it all, right?
We made it into like sunset here. This is
We did good.
amazing. Thanks again so much. Can we take a selfie here?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let me take